it's shameless and kind of brilliant, said one music strategist. He was talking about a new phenomena where it's all about the first 30 seconds of a pop song. If you don't get listeners with a good hook, sample or recognisable vocal in that first half minute, well, you're done for. The change is driven by streaming services like Spotify only paying royalties if the track is played for more than 30 seconds. And it's changing the way songs are actually written. Think Katy Perry's latest hit. Feel sorry for classics like Hotel California with that long lead-in. Well, there it is. It goes on for 53 seconds before any vocals. Mike Errico is a songwriting professor and artist who's written a lot about this subject. He's there in our New York studios, and also with me here in London is Mark Christopher Lee, a musician who released an album of 100 songs with each track lasting only 30 seconds. Welcome both of you here to the programme. Mike, to you first of all, I hope you liked my intro. It was 30 seconds long, it had a grabby hook, few flourishes in the middle, so I'm in keeping with it all. Now, Tiffany Kumar from Spotify said, if you're not loving it, you're skipping it. And that's basically it, isn't it?
It definitely is. I think it's much shorter than 7 seconds, than 30 seconds. It's about 7 seconds before someone actually makes a decision. I think that's sort of the average on Spotify.
I just want to give an example to viewers of, we played the Eagles a minute ago, but I mentioned Katy Perry in our introduction, her latest hit, Swish Swish. Let's play that and get your take on what she's actually doing.
They know what is what, but they don't know what is what. They just strut. What the...
So there it is. So what's actually happening there, Mike? Just take me through it, because she's not the only one doing it.
No, not at all. There was a great article actually in Pitchfork a week and a half ago that talked about these beginnings, these early songs. He referred to it as an executive summary of the song, or basically the TLDR version of a song, which is an acronym for too long, didn't read. So it gives you just a quick summary of like, what is the palette that I'm going to be dealing with, and if I like the palette, I'll stay, and if not, I'm out. That's basically it. I mean.
And Mark was nodding along as you were saying that. It's interesting, the two of you in the studios together, because Mark made that album I referred to after reading your article writing about all of this. Tell me a little more about 100 by 30.
Absolutely. Well, I saw Mike's excellent article, I think it was in The Independent, about why songwriters are still writing 3.5-minute pop songs. You know, basically that was the length of 7-inch vinyl. Why not adapt to your media of today, which is streaming? Mike made the point that they pay out after 30 seconds and then no more. So your track could be 30 seconds long or 30 minutes long, it's still the same royalty rate. So why not adapt to your media and just write 30-second songs? So I took the gauntlet and did an album. I think, OK, to make it impressive, we need to put 100 of these on one album, which is what we did.
I want to play just a little from it, from one of the tracks, and it's called Nobody Makes Money Anymore, very tellingly. Let's have a listen. Mark, there it is. That's probably about a quarter of the song, because that's how long. Now, when you're writing like that in 30 seconds...
I'd like to say it's also brilliant.
No, thank you.
Some plaudits from New York. But when you're writing, how different is it? I mean, what are you trying to do? Just cram everything in?
It's basically, well, there's different ways of doing it. What we try to do is do a mixture of things. One of the ways of doing it is to get the hooks in, get the chorus, repeat the chorus and over, have an idea, have a title. The first album, 100 by 30, was all about the music industry, so all the songs were about the music industry, so there was a theme to tie it all together. So that one's called Nobody Makes Money Anymore, self-explanatory, so we just repeated the chorus over and over in a quite poppy manner. So it gets people in, they listen to it, and they go, oh, that was all right. But
and as a songwriter, how rewarding is it doing something like that?
Yeah, it's great. It's a new format which we're running with, but I only like it because I can put it on an album. I think if I was just releasing 30-second singles, I wouldn't get so much pleasure from it. But because we're trying to do an artistic concept in terms of an album with themes on, it kind of works.
Mike, let me bring you back in because you talked and used that phrase executive summary a little while ago. Tell me the other sorts of tricks that artists are doing, because I saw one which I thought was quite clever, was get the song title into your lyrics much earlier than perhaps songs that have gone by in the past.
Right, that's why I was going to say that that song was brilliant, because not only is it quick, gets to the chorus, and it's a repeat of the title setting, and the title setting is the heart of the song. So you also know what the whole song is about. So it's 4 or 5 things are happening at one time. So that's what happens, and that's what people have for the first 7 seconds. They can make a choice at that point whether or not they want to continue. But there are lots of other things that are going on in the song form as radio begins to lose its grip on the mind share of songwriters.
And we're just filtering in a bit of Justin Bieber. It's interesting, Justin Bieber, Katy Perry. I mean, all of these big stars you think have latched on and they're doing this, are they?
Absolutely. There are several things that are going on. That's only one. The second is sort of a real rethinking of the second verse. If you want to get into it, I don't know. From there's a rethinking of the bridge, which some people call just like, it was referred to once as the pop drop, but it's really just, it's a rethinking of that TLDR intro with a club beat. So you get this mix between recognition and newness at the same time.
So everything is changing. I mean, you wrote the industry is in full
Yes.
disruption mode. I mean, that's exactly what you're describing. If you're talking about getting the chorus much earlier, thinking completely about the bridge, the second verse, I mean, everything is changing.
Pretty much everything's changing, except that everything's also the same. I mean, I had a student who wrote a brilliant article about Her Majesty, the Beatles tune, which is 28 seconds long and has all of the elements of traditional song form baked into it at 28 seconds. So, I mean, things are new, but is anything new? I mean, like, a lot of this is also we've seen previously.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Now, I talked about Hotel California a little earlier, and we played a little clip. I want to play another because Pink Floyd, another of those classic bands, they would have struggled with Shine On You Crazy Moon. I mean, take me through, Mike, some of the classics that wouldn't make this cut.
Well, that's something that's really interesting. That's another pressure that is being put on songs. Songs are also going towards the idea of being a utility. So you get really huge Spotify playlists based only on sleep, on sleeping, and you get playlists that have names of actions and not genres. So you have like morning coffee or stepping out of the tub or, you know, or whatever sort of action mixes into these utility playlists. So an 8-hour song cycle by someone like Max Richter is also possible. It's the radio that is just being sidestepped at this point.
Mark,
so you can go shorter, like Mark Christopher Lee, or you can go much longer at the same time.
Mark, you're agreeing. I mean, all of this, I mean, change is inevitable with technology, because you made me smile listening to a conversation you had with my producer talking about the old days of buying vinyl and just taking your time and, and listen, it's all gone, hasn't it? I mean, the way we consume music.
Yeah, you want an instant fix, press a button and, oh yeah, you know, give me a hook, give me a chorus, give me something that's going to make me go out and dance.
But even you now, I read that when you play a 3-minute song, you even think it's a bit long.
Well, the 30-second song, yeah, where it falls down, the 30-second song idea is where it's going out live and performing it live. We've done it a few times, and the audience love it, but as a band, it's really hard to do like 30, 40, 30-second songs continuously. It's hard to get into it, because, you know, we're in a band, you like to get into the groove, get a feel for it. 30-second songs, there's no time for that. You have to get into it and deliver it.
Mike, we've got about a minute left, so just a final thought to you. I mean, you teach students, musicians, songwriters. What are you telling them currently about how you put together a song? Because actually, if you look at some of the old classics, Elvis Presley, they make the cut because they were quite short in those days.
Yeah, well, what I tell them is that there are things neurologically that are that will always be a constant. The mind loves repetition. And we learn language, we learn everything via repetition. And that includes choruses and singing along and joining in. People want to join in, and they also want to express something that they can't express themselves. And that's what the writer's job is at 30 seconds or at, 5 hours. It doesn't really matter.
Mike, We have run out of time, but it's been an absolutely fascinating conversation. Mike Errico in there in New York, Mike Christopher Lee here in the studio. Thank you so much for talking through those developments. Now, we're going to take a break, but we're back live from Las Vegas. Let me show you briefly the pictures there, the vigils all around Las Vegas. Donald Trump expected there in